Uh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yo, what's going on, everyone? Welcome to this week's episode of River City 93. I'm your host, as always, Elliot Barr, and is joining me on a video call during what looks to be a very good, bad summer storm. It's Mr. Matt Myers. How are you doing, sir?
Doing all right, ready to go on the 10-minute monologue again. If your power goes off again.
You know, this is prepping. I miss the days of where we would have like this big potential storms in City Stadium, and we would just be like, you know what, we're gonna stay here. We're gonna watch the game.
And we had a nice run of those for like 2 or 3 years, where you get like a couple of summer of, all right, are they going to restart the game at all, or are we just going to hang out, here until 11 o'clock midnight? Like, I don't have we even had one of those like post pandemic? I guess there's the Open Cup game against
Yeah,
Cleveland a couple years ago, but
yeah.
that,
That's
that
the
was
last
just
one
a
I can
delayed
think of.
start.
That's the last one I can think of. Oh, wait,
Yeah,
was Nova one? We played
I
them in
don't
the
remember.
Open Cup because I feel like that game started late too.
I don't know. I mean, it definitely ended late because had to go to extra time to be able to get by them.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, I mean, especially in the olden days when gee, I can't believe I'm calling that the olden days when they had the big beer truck there and they were just trying to get rid of their inventory by the end of the night, and
Oh yeah.
everybody's more than willing to help them out.
Back in the days where you could get your food, get back in the stand all within 10 minutes. Now, if you try to do that, you might miss a half.
I mean, pro move is you gotta get your food, get in line 20 minutes before the game starts. Like if the players have gone back in to the locker room for final preparations, you're playing with fire.
Yeah. Yeah, most definitely. Gotta make sure you're there on time or whew, yeah, them lines are big now. We actually do have a listener question about food trucks. So we should probably talk about that sometime during the podcast. By the way, if you're wondering why we are like so far into the show and we haven't even talked about that game, it's because that game did not exist. That game was a professional development game. It was a PD training. Would
Yeah,
you
I
agree
mean,
with that, Matt?
go back watching the Lexington game. It's almost literally the same game again.
It kind of is. Which is sad because they're in the same league with us. Oh man.
Yeah,
Um.
there are a couple little flashes here and there, but for the most part, like we knew what that game was, and
Yeah.
uh, I don't know how the tiebreakers really ended up going, but if anything, Charlotte should be feeling bad about themselves for not trying to push more because they missed out on advancing on some sort of tiebreaker, and
No, I
maybe
think
they
Charlotte got through. I think
no
Lowry got out.
no
I
because
think.
I saw the brackets, and I don't know what the tiebreaker was, but Loudon was group winner, and Charlotte's
What?
out. Greenville's the only USL League One team that went through.
Oh, see, on football, they got it different. They got Charlotte at the top of the group.
Okay,
Wow. Okay.
but we've talked about this, Elliot. It's just like their lineups. Fat Mob can't be trusted. It took them a good 2 weeks to fix the Spokane Westchester bit.
That is very much true. Okay, yeah, nah, because I see they announced the group games now. And you're right. Loudon's the only one who got through. Wow. I swore when I went to bed last night, I was like, it convinced in my head Charlotte was through. It was shouted in Louisville through. Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah,
Okay.
so but also you know still gonna laugh at Lexington. How are you going to give up 2 goals in stoppage time to your in-state rival to lose that?
They can't overcome that hump, man. Yeah, I'm convinced.
I mean, you know how you're Lexington, and you're just a cursed franchise,
Yeah,
and we love to see it.
I do love to see. I do love to see Lexington go down, and I think that's.
Especially when they're wearing their definitely not University of Kentucky knockoff
Oh, they
uniforms.
were the blue jerseys. I didn't even see that. Wow. Yeah, I saw those jerseys, and I was like, nah, I ain't gonna lie. I did advocate for Lexington wearing blue when they were first made, but nah, not now.
I mean, that looked like something like back when Tony Delk was playing for UK, if they were soccer jerseys instead of basketball jersey, that they would be wearing back then.
Yeah. Talking about the Jägermeister game, I guess we can mention it somewhat, but the result itself sucked. I don't think there's really much to read into it. We kind of already know what this team is and how it's going to placate. Massive key parts of your offense is at Chippenham Hospital. You played virtually a very young lineup and somewhat disjointed lineup against one of the better teams in USL League One that needed a win to, well, now we know they're not going through, but at that time to get through. And went about the way how we all expected it to. Not great. There were some flashes, like I did like the link up between Kirkland and Landon Johnson. Landon
Mhm.
probably walked out of this game with, to me, I would say the best performance just because he was willing to take shots. Like I remember a couple of long range shots. The one he
Well,
had
I mean,
almost like
had that one in the 5th minute that he
yeah,
got really good contact on. Former Kickers Academy, goalkeeper, Drew Romig was able to get down, turn it around the post. So he had another good look, early in the second half too, where he tried to go hide near post on him, hit the side netting. But I think we're seeing little bits and pieces from Landon over the last few weeks of, if nothing else, not being afraid to take a guy on. Like, yes, there's still times when he trips over the ball and does a couple other things where you're just like, bro, what? But you know, getting another guy who will take a look at goal, will actually be able to
yeah.
you know in certain moments be a little bit selfish and
Hmm.
look for his own.
Yeah,
His team could use that.
yeah. So I like his performance. He did really well. Outside of that, Kirkland did some nice things, but you know, it's hard as well when you're not getting the direct service that you usually feast off of. It was good to see Bill Hart back. That gives him some hope and optimism. And that's about it. Anything from you, Matt, that you walked out of this game either impressed with?
Um, Pablo had that one really nice save. Uh, yeah, the commentator, thought it was the most amazing save he's ever seen. I thought it was a really good save. Maybe he went a little over the top uh, there. Yeah, I didn't see a lot wrong from Pablo. Just
Yeah,
like a lot of the other games, just left out to dry.
yeah, I would
Uh,
agree with that.
you know, feel for the guy a little bit. Getting these Jaeger games where the team is either overmatched, checked out, or both.
Yeah,
Because hard hard to make a case. You should be GK1 when you're getting 3+ hung on you, no matter what the other situations might be.
yeah, yeah. It's not really helping his case, and I hate the fact that like Pablo is still looking for his first ever clean sheet, just not this season in his kicker's career, which is weird to say. Um, I can, yeah. I'm trying to think. Like, has it been a goalkeeper in League One who's played a significant amount of games that waited as long to get their first clean sheet for a team?
No
I'm
idea.
sure
I
there
mean, there,
is.
there, there might be some rando from like Orlando City B days or something like
Yeah,
that. Or like when Toronto FC2 was playing, where those teams would get shelled pretty regularly. But they also conveyor belted guys, too. So who knows if anybody got enough minutes long term.
Yeah. Well, that's enough about that game. We're gonna close that door and we're gonna move into the fun part. Which, by the way, I haven't said it already because we were doing a whole monologue and stuff like that, and talking, which is great. But if you haven't, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Go to rivercity93.com. Check out all our work there. Stay up to date with the podcast and the Vodcast. Check that out as well. Or follow us on Instagram, YouTube at rivercity93.com. But if you want to send us a listener question, which we're about to do now, we love those. You can send them to 93 River City 93 River City at gmail.com, or you can submit them on rivercity93.com as well. There's a link where you can do all that. I'll put it in the show notes so you can check it out. But we start off with this one. Sam for the Discord, he asks, "Were you able to get the sweat out of the Leganes kit?" Which, yes, I was. It took me like 2 washes and 2 dries, but I was able to get it out. It did not stink anymore, but I was able to clean it, and the number stayed intact, which is the most important thing.
Excellent.
So I'm proud of that. I'm proud of that of myself. All right. Let's see. Go to the other listener now. So M Lutz, he said there's a few questions, so we're gonna try to answer all of these. But any injuries this week that we know of? Let me ask you this: did it seem like Dak got hurt? Because
I
I
don't know.
remember him going down and then him getting subbed out at halftime.
I mean, I think the halftime sub was pre-planned.
Okay.
Like he would get a half, Chandler would get a half, because why would you make that sub at halftime otherwise?
See, that's what I'm thinking it is. I think
No, because
that's
I
the
mean,
reason why he makes that
if they were
stuff.
going for it, you probably start Chandler, right?
Yeah.
And this way, there's a little bit of balance in terms of experience in the midfield. You know, I don't know. That's my theory behind it. You could be right, but I think it was kind of a scheduled sub.
Yeah. Well, that's the only injury I can think of that might be coming out of this game. Obviously, it might be some other stuff. We know Matt Bolda is out with a broken leg. Hoping him the best in recovery. Deals and Maxie Schiffer, who was actually at the watch party. So if you need a reason to go to watch parties, you might find a Kickers player in there. But it was cool to watch the game with Maxie there. I know Will. He was in between Will, Justin, and Justin. And they were watching the game over there. It's pretty good, pretty dope to see Kickers players come out. I remember they used to do that. And I don't know if it's a club made anything or they're just like, this is kind of like my off time. I'm gonna enjoy it while I got it.
A little A, a little B. I think there's definitely been a cultural change, over time with uh, part of it CBA driven, part of it, probably just player, interest, driven, and community engagement, driven. Because like you used to see guys around, the community all the time,
Yeah,
doing different kind of service projects, stuff like that, and once in a blue moon, you'll see photos of like it's usually I feel like Landon and James are usually in most of them where they're out at like elementary or middle schools, talking to young kids,
yeah.
that kind of stuff. Like
I remember that
Patrick,
stuff.
you see like Neil and Joao a lot. Not only with they obviously had their passion for working with there's developmental issues, and that's what's led to their nonprofit. So
Mhm.
you see a few guys, but I don't know. To me, it doesn't feel like there's that connection. It feels a lot more nowadays like these guys are here to do a job, and okay, that's it.
Yeah. No, I remember that's how I became a Kickers fan. With I went to John B. Carey, Lee Kalishaw, and a couple other Kickers players came to my school and like taught us soccer and whatnot. But yeah, like that's how I started. So yeah, that stuff has a huge impact.
Yeah, I mean,
Definitely
and
go on it.
it's such an easy win for like community relations, media relations, just publicize that kind of stuff because maybe it is happening, but people don't know it's happening.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
that's an issue. We could talk about that
yeah,
definitely. That conversation would be great. Maybe a great off-season podcast. Um, so he got a lot of questions. Not a lot, not a bad thing. Oh, this is a good one. Where is the team mentality right now? It seem to have a good time at the international game, but things seem to still be awry. So, how do you think team mentality is right now? Because I can tell you where fan mentality is, and it's not great.
yeah. It's hard for me to believe that it's in a great place right now. Like I, you know, played on teams, growing up where things were going well, and you can deal with annoying things when things are going well, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, I've also played on teams that were bad, like my high school team. We had a few decent players. We had a lot that weren't any
yeah,
good, and we could stay competitive, but teams, especially playing like some of the West End teams, they would stop us because they had you know teams full of guys who were you know good, probably better than most of our guys. Like maybe a few of our guys could play for them, but that was about it.
hmm
And like, it's fun to play. It was fun to play with your friends, but it got to be a little bit of a grind, a little bit of a slog, and that's just in a compressed couple month season. That's not over the long term. That's not when you're playing for your livelihood. And uh, I mean, I can't imagine being on a bad team. Does a lot for future contracts talks, especially when there's always a new group of younger players coming into the pro ranks, especially in a game like soccer where there's literally a whole world's worth of you know potential competition for a spot. I, it's hard for me to believe that spirits are in a great place right now.
yeah. So Matt, I have the perfect analogy for you to
Yeah,
kind of sum it up. So this is kind of like Darren having a car, and the car's been doing great, right? But there's been little issues here and there. And what's happening right now is that the car just doesn't have the parts to get going the way how it's supposed to. Because, and I didn't realize this the last night till we were talking about it, but we have yet to see this full 11 yet on the field. Even dating back to preseason, we still haven't seen Darwin Niels on this field at the same time, either in conjunction with Emmy or with Kirkland, you know. And I'm trying to think, like, have we had a fully healthy midfield? I feel like we have, yeah. But just like
yeah,
our attack, we haven't seen a f- our top three players on the field at the same time, and that's crazy to me. So I wonder if that's like demoralizing. And then it's like stuff compounds on top of each other. So it's like the kickers are getting by scoring and doing well, but they don't have the defense to kind of close out games. You can tell that starts getting frustrating. And then you have the losing streak. So then you go from scoring and being able to compete to not being able to score, but you're still leaking in goals. Then the injuries kick in. So now you're losing guys, or guys are coming back and they're getting re-injured, and they were key pieces to why you were scoring and having the good vibes at the start of the year. They're now gone, and you're relying on guys who, albeit are good pieces or okay pieces on a okay to good team, but when you're asking those pieces to now be the starter and to be the key contributor, it's never going to be the same. So then you're sitting there questioning yourself, and you're like, okay, is like if I do this, is this going to come off, or how is this going to work? And it's like, Matt, I don't know if you ever had this feeling or not, but back to the car analogy, it's like when you go start your car and you're hoping and praying it cuts on, and you hear it, and then it's like the part of you is like, all right, I just do it one more time, and you keep doing it, hoping that the car is going to start, and it just doesn't feel like the car is going to start, Matt. Doesn't feel like
yeah,
it.
yeah. So can it turn around? Sure. I mean, we even saw last season. A couple changes,
Yeah,
sparked the team, ahead when things were looking a little bit dire at a certain point, and sometimes it's a radical change. Like last year, nobody, I mean literally nobody other than maybe his parents. You're thinking, all right, what's going to be the change we need to make to help push this team forward? James Sneddon,
yeah,
but they tried something a little bit different. Brought in Chella, those two guys. Probably well, that and dropping Emmy and Vignoles to the bench, stuff that again you wouldn't have thought you would do, but it worked, somehow. So not impossible, but yeah, I think it's reasonable to think that it's a little bit of a cloudy day.
yeah, yeah. It is. Well, I felt well. Oh, this is a good one. So Matt, I don't know if you saw the photo in the Discord, but there's a photo of Josh Kirkland's family at the Charlotte Stadium and how his family almost doubles the entire Charlotte fan base available at the game. And he wants to know, does Kirkland get any royalties off the ticket sales? His family or his fan base double the number of participants at the stadium, which I don't know if they do, but he should get some kind of kickback.
I don't think Charlotte's going to give him any kickback for you know that would be quite the system there of, hey, guy in the other team, here's some money, right? I think that might be reserved for your Leo Messi's types of the world where you know teams beg him to play against them and are
Yeah,
pissed when he doesn't, because there go the ticket sales. Now we have to do a make right for the fans who were bitter about missing out on him. Love Josh. I don't think he's quite at that level yet.
yeah, no. It would be cool to, how Josh is pulling in that number of people would be awesome. But yeah, I mean, let's see what other listener questions we have. Oh, so this one comes from John. He asked me, how do I feel about not getting a kicker's chest tattoo? Yeah, that's not happening. I'm not. I have said this though. If the Kickers win a title, which see we're a little far off now, I would get a tattoo. I would get the Kickers tattoo with the star, and the closest I came was 2022 because we've talked about it thousands of times. But yeah, that's the closest I've ever came to getting a Kickers tattoo. But a chest piece, absolutely not. That's no. No one needs to see this covered in a chest tattoo. Man, have you ever thought about what's the craziest thing you would do if the Kickers won a title?
I don't know. I mean, hell no to tattoos. Why? Why? No. Uh, there's no good reason to put a needle on your body if you don't have to.
Understandable. Understandable. I had my one little tattoo, but actually, hold on.
No, pass.
There we go.
Same reason you'll never see, like getting anything pierced or anything either. Like again, why would you want to put a needle and build a hole into your body? Lunacy.
This goes to the list of things that Matt probably does not like, which is I will never forget mushrooms. So this is building
Well,
onto
yeah, because they're disgusting.
uh,
Yeah, I mean, come on. Uh, I don't know. I'm in my 40s now. It's like you might have been able to talk me into like something wacky, to do like when I was in my 20s or something, but I don't know.
Matt,
Like throw ideas out there. I'll probably say no, but I'm definitely not coming up with them on my own.
I would say lock up. Like we got to get Matt like locked up. You got the hair for
It's hanging on.
it. We can try that. Yeah. So you got suggestions for Matt for what he should do if the Kickers win the title. Send them our way. We'll see if Matt said yes to them or not. Which would be interesting. This is the question that I was talking about earlier about the food truck. So this comes from Nicole. If you could have any MLS, oh no, not that one. Where was it? Oh, I think it was in the Discord. Yeah, my fault. If rank the City Stadium food trucks from best to worst.
See, now the problem I'm going to have here is I don't actually know most of their names.
I think I remember most of them.
Okay, so
I think I remember most of them.
I don't know what the one's name was, but there was one in there a couple weeks ago. They were in a green truck,
Is it
and
the healthy one?
yeah, it's definitely like somewhat healthier choice. Because I got
Oh,
like
I think it's green apple. I think it's
maybe it's like a chicken Caesar wrap. There that was right.
okay.
That was some good stuff. It tasted like good food. Uh, quality was quick. It was shockingly quick.
Yeah,
So I don't see them there all the time. Which you can if you want to ping them on the rankings for that, fair play. But I'd put them up there. I think Guapo is probably my preferred one of the regulars
yeah,
right now. They again they're quick. For whatever reason, like they always have one what is like the regular tacos on the menu and then listed as not available, which is
oh
we're like
yeah.
just like take it off,
Just take
take
it
it
off.
off.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
Uh, for that, good food, and the prices for everything there are slightly ridiculous.
yeah.
Uh, I used to be a roast guy. They're just so slow, and those portions seem to get tinier and tinier
Hmm.
each time. So I've kind of dropped out of them. I think I've only been to that tater tot place once.
Oh yeah, they were good though. They did a good job. I felt like they were like lacking like other options. They were okay.
Yeah. Bottom of the barrel is going to be Chick-fil-A. Yeah, that
Yeah,
little because $9 for a Chick-fil-A sandwich, you got to be out of your mind.
yeah. No, they're like that's an extreme price. And I don't
Like
even
it was
think
a
it's for fries. I think it's just a sandwich for $9, which is
yeah,
also homophobic chicken.
like they had a decent Chick-fil-A deal. What was it? Pandemic year. When they weren't out on the side, where food trucks are. They were actually in where they sell the beer.
Yeah,
Right now, like they were reasonably affordable at that time, and okay, at that point, yeah, decent value, but no, you can't justify something like that.
yeah. No, absolutely not. Like I'm not gonna lie. I low key judge people who pick Chick-fil-A at the games when there are other food trucks there. Now I get it. For kids, I understand it. Like it's quick, it's
Sure.
easy. When you're a full adult and we got all these other food trucks and you choosing to pay almost double the price of something you can get outside the stadium, like no,
Yeah.
no,
The
absolutely,
only way I could excuse it is there was no line, but there's always a line there.
yeah, yeah. Like no, absolutely not. It is not kids. It's like adults, and I'm like, y'all, like we have other food trucks. The other food truck I would put near the bottom is Tom's because now
Which one is that one?
that is the one that I think is right behind Section O. They sell like coffee,
Okay.
so
Yeah,
like
I'm not a coffee guy really, so I
yeah,
don't even
but
look.
it's great if it's a cold game. Like during the early parts of the season, it's great, right? But during the hotter months, like I don't want coffee. And I don't want to like granted, I'm old now, so like I don't need to be having a milkshake on a hot summer day. That's not gonna end well for no one, nor my bathroom. So yeah, I will put that one near the bottom. And then I think there's a funnel cake one on the other side, walking toward the VIP boxes, but I've never tried them out. But I've seen like maybe one or two people get something from there, but I don't see a lot.
Yeah, but funnel cake to me just seems like it should live at King's Dominion, Busch Gardens, and nowhere else.
That is also true. That is also true. I remember my mom would go like the only reason she would take us to the park sometimes was just to get a funnel cake. Like she didn't care about doing anything else. She was just like, I just want the funnel cake.
Good for her.
Yeah. No, yeah. Oh
I don't
man, now you make me want one. What? Okay, let me ask you
You're
this:
still on you're
what
still
would
on
you
summer
get on
break.
your funnel cake?
Take one last KD trip before school starts.
I should. I could, because I could go to the water park. That sounds like a plan. I have to do it. Matt, what do you get on your funnel cake? Like, what is your funnel cake order?
I mean, first question is when was the last time I had one? I feel like most of the time it's just the powdered sugar. What else? What else is there?
I've had it with like strawberries. I've seen people do it with chocolate, powdered sugar, and strawberries. I've even
Strawberries, I could
seen
probably.
one.
I get into the strawberries. I don't. I feel like the chocolate might just be like sweetness overload.
Yeah, I've seen. Now this was at the fair. I saw someone do like peaches
No,
on there, and someone did like apples with like cinnamon.
no, you can find wild stuff at fairs. Like when I was up in
Yeah,
Wisconsin, the state fair up there, they would have like full on like deep fried Oreos and like cream puffs and all of that. And I mean, tasty, but it's just literally feel like you're washing like diabetes under your mouth.
Oh man, that is funny. That is funny. Yeah. So what's the okay to
So
me?
what's
Huh?
your number one food truck at the games?
Was it El Guapo?
Yeah.
I would say El Guapo. That's right. No, well, yeah, El Guapo because there's the bowl plays they do for the media, and I feel like the media bowls are always skimpier than what like the actual bowls they give to people.
Okay.
So I kind of got a weird beef against them because I'm like, why are you skimping me on this? But there's a good. They're probably like second. Yeah. Do you have a
There's another
favorite
one.
place to get beer from?
Honestly, I just usually pick shortest line.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah,
I'm
same
not, I'm
here.
not brand loyal enough to anyone that like I'll go out of my way to get it specifically into the Hardywood line or specifically into the three notch line or anything like that.
Yeah. I know. Well, but Electra loves the hat trick, and I think that's made by Three Notches. I feel like. There's another one who has a really good beer. I can't remember who it is right now, but
Well,
yeah,
for all those listening, send us your top three food trucks, top three beer choices. We'll pull that all that together and you know share the results
yeah,
future episode.
we can try it then. All right, so my fault. So that one was from Kate. This one is from Nicole. If you could have any any MLS legend. Oh, one MLS legend. Okay, I was reading that all weird. And one Premier League legend join the Kickers. Who would it be? So
Okay,
one MLS legend, one Premier League legend.
so we're assuming that they're in like their playing prime. I take it
Yeah,
then,
yeah, they're playing prime.
and not like present day version of them.
No, because that was really there on the list.
Yeah. Well, okay, I'll go with the obvious answer first, and then I'll keep buying time to think of the more interesting answer. Obvious answer is MLS, Messi, Premier League, Cristiano, because wouldn't even have to try to sell tickets at that point,
Oh yeah, no, absolutely not. Yeah, if
and
this is
kind of good at the game.
yeah, um, yeah, if I'm going absolutely lunacy, yeah, those two.
Yeah,
Now,
that's the objectively right answer. It's probably not the
yeah,
most fun answer, but
not the most fun. Nah, now if I'm going practical, if I had to choose one Premier League legend, because see, all right, I'm trying to think. Do I want an attacker or do I want a goalkeeper?
uh, I'll give you what your real answer is once you give your answer, and you'll realize I'm right.
Yeah, probably. I'm trying to think. What is it? Okay. So if we're going Premier League, and based on how Darren wants to play,
But who
I would
cares
go
about that?
Allison.
This is your team. You're putting the guys out there.
Yeah. Oh, you're right. What I would yeah, I would go Allison. I would
Freaking
put
keeper.
Alex on the
Okay.
goal. Yeah, I would go goalkeeper.
All
Because I
right.
feel like MLS, I could get a decent attacker, outfield player, right? Like, there's not that many MLS goalkeepers I would pick over Premier League goalkeeper.
Okay. Do you want to know what your actual real answer is?
What?
The real answer for Elliot Barr, based on all of the things that we've heard him talk about over the years, is obviously Roy Keane. Yeah, because who else is going to be out there, fight a guy, go and 2-foot a guy, be the enforcer, but also run the midfield at the same time.
Oh
I mean,
man,
that is
absolutely correct. Yeah, it would be Roy Keane.
your real answer. I'll
Yeah,
take. Give me Thierry Henry.
that's not bad either. Yeah. Oh
Well,
man,
I guess I could cheat and have him as my MLS guy if I wanted, and
you
pick somebody else.
could, and he would do just as great. Yeah, nah, I'm gonna change. Yeah, you're right. It would be 100% Roy Keane.
Yeah.
Because, like, can you imagine Roy Keane if he saw some of the passing? Like, that man would have you aneurysm.
Right. Here's the question: would he get sent off first for a bad tackle on an opponent, or for a bad tackle on his own teammate?
Older an opponent. Because he wouldn't take a lot of Emmy getting hit. Or like if someone was messing with like Beckett. Because Roy Keane he was great to protect the young players. If somebody was to mess with Sneddon, Roy Keane is destroying them. And that would do my heart so good.
Right. So
Yeah.
you're welcome for that one.
Yeah, you're right. Absolutely. It's Roy Keane. It is absolutely Roy Keane. Oh man. I'm just now imagining this. Like, he would teach Beckett every dark art. Or no, not Beckett, Richmond. He would teach Richmond every dark art.
Yeah.
Oh my god. That is so good.
I think MLS, if
Yeah,
we're going
MLS.
MLS legend. And part of me just wants to say like Landon, but that's too boring. That's a little boring.
Yeah.
I think somebody like, and you can pick whichever one of the two you want out of these two, but either Carlos Valderrama or Marco Echeverri would thrive in like a USL League One setting where you're going to get a little bit more time and space to be able to ping it around, and you can load the team up around them with guys who'll do the running for them.
I have one. I don't know if he's off the wall, but I can see him working really well with Chandler. Sebastian Giovinco.
Okay.
I can see that.
Oh, actually, no. Better. I have a better answer now. Forget that.
I think, yeah. I think I honestly, I think I have this answer. Darlington Nagby.
Okay, that's a practical answer.
Yeah, I can see him. I would
Okay.
love to see that. Who you
My
got?
real answer, because I kind of forgot that he played in MLS for a little bit, and it might be loose on the MLS legend side of things,
Yeah.
because he just happened to play here for a couple of years. Give me Zlatan.
Yeah. So Zlatan teaching Kirkland. Oh shit.
Or not, don't even need him to teach. Just go out there and do your thing. I don't know if that guy's necessarily what you would call a teacher.
But Kirkland would have to pick up something. Like, there's something he would have to pick up. Yeah, no. Zlatan's a good answer. Yeah, Zlatan's a good answer.
Yeah, and the problem with Zlatan, the problem with Keane, some of these guys we're picking is they miss half the season, because of red cards. But at this level,
Or, okay, if we're talking about prime, Gareth Bale at MLS, or you can go Premier League Gareth Bale.
yeah, there's a lot of guys who have played in both at this point.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, you go Lampard, Gerrard,
that's
one of those guys.
Yeah. Is it? Wayne Rooney? That's another one you could have gone.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. Is there anyone else? Oh, I don't
Yeah,
know.
Robbie Keane.
Yeah, Robbie King, Chicharito. Now I'm trying to
Yeah,
think. Is there anyone else?
and Carlos Vela.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to go into prime, like go back to early MLS and like Lothar Matthäus,
Oh
played in New
yeah.
York for a hot minute. Uh,
Um, what's his name? Gonzalo Higuain. That's one.
yeah, I mean, yeah, you can look at a lot of the current Miami roster, and
Yeah. Final
Suarez
few
was in
shot.
Suarez was in Liverpool for a minute.
Oh
Or
yeah.
I guess we had the MLS side of the question too. So yeah, no shortage of options.
Yeah, no certain jobs. I'm pretty sure any of them will be fun, but the correct answer is Roy Keane. Like that's the answer. Yeah, that's the answer. And now you're gonna make me like think about this as randomly during a game and just laugh out loud around people. All right. So we got another listener question from Will Hampton. It says, "What place will we finish with Darwin, Bill Hart, Niels, Emmy, Vaughn in the starting lineup if they were all healthy?" So I'm assuming this question is, where would the kickers be right now if all of them were healthy right now?
Not sure you see Nils and Vaughn in the lineup at the same time if everybody's healthy, but depth is good.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, scoring more goals, that's for sure, because probably not gonna have too many of the no shots on target kind of games.
Yeah.
Getting more of those guys back. The problem I have is that all those guys are attackers. Like nothing seems to change on the defensive side with any of those guys coming back in, and they're bleeding goals anyway. So it's hard for me to think it's going to be radically different. I mean, I think the top end right now is 8th place, but I don't know if it's. I don't know how realistic that's going to be. Because even with a good number of those guys, before they were still dropping points in games that they had no business dropping points in.
Yeah. I think we will be around 6 or 7. Because I think a few more games would have turned into draws. Like, I'm trying to think. Like the Westchester game, if you have a full healthy team, I can see that being a win. But you're right, it's also the defense did improve. And assuming they make the same moves, they can enlarge and bear. How I can see 6 or 7. I think there would be better. I think there would be more games that would be draws than just flat out losses. Like the Spokane games, like I think those might have been a draw, or Chattanooga. Um, before they got away from us. So yeah, maybe the games like that.
Okay, well,
Yeah,
hopefully we find out soon how those guys can turn things around
I
for us.
hope so because I've been hearing that Darwin is back in training. So if he is, that's a great welcome addition. Like I said earlier, we saw Bill Hart. No word on Niels or Vaughn and Maxi. I'm assuming it's still hurt because I saw him at Triple Cross. I mean, three notches, not Triple Cross, 3 notches for the watch party. So yeah, hopefully everyone gets healthy. So yeah, that's all the listener questions. If you have any, feel free to send it to us. We would love to talk about them on the show, and we don't want to be talking about the same thing over and over again, because that's no fun for y'all and no fun for us. But Matt, before we get up out of here, let's talk about the game that we have coming up. Richmond plays FC Naples, who, if you remember, we went down there. We played on AstroTurf, which I didn't even think was still a thing because I thought they outlawed that back in like the 90s and whatnot. Because everyone, if I remember rightly, was it AstroTurf led to torn ACLs
I don't
or
remember
something?
it's just incredibly hard surface. Like it was
Yeah,
all the rage back in like the 70s and into the 80s. Then you started, like early 2000s, started to see the synthetic turfs, come up
yeah,
and like especially those early days where you just see like all the black pellets pop up all over the place.
Oh my god.
I feel like they've improved that technology a bit since then.
Yeah.
But yeah, seem to be a legit old school carpet down there.
Yeah. So, and if you haven't been watching the final whistle with Coach Darren Zawalski, make sure you check that out. But he's made it known. FC Naples Field ain't the best, but this time around they're coming to Richmond, and that game will be on Saturday, August 2nd at 7 p.m. If the Kickers have been in a bad run of form, so has FC Naples. Really, since April 12th, when they last beat us, that was the last time they had back-to-back wins. Since then, they have won
2, I think.
3.
Okay.
They have won 3 games since April 16th. That's when they got eliminated in the Open Cup game. So since then, they've only won 3 games. One in the Jaeger Cup, that was against Charleston, then Union Omaha, and then Westchester. But since then, they've also drawn a significant amount of games and lost like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, so 3 wins, 8 losses, and 1, 2, 3. Yeah, and 3 draws since then. Hasn't been pretty at all for them. They were like one of the hottest. I think they started like one of the best expansion sides ever, or maybe might have been better. I might.
I don't know. They were on top for a little bit, and everybody was, just trying to fluff them up so much, and I didn't think maybe they'd fall off to the extent that they
Yeah,
did, but it didn't seem sustainable early on, at least to me. But yeah, they've come back to the pack. They're currently 6th place right now on 23 points, so they're 7 points ahead of the Kickers at this stage, same number of games played. And I think the other thing to really remember is, okay, they got us 2-1 down there, but it's what happened at the end of the game that really was noteworthy. They celebrated when they won that game like they won the goddamn World Cup.
they did.
Right? And if you saw, the interview with Darren, I don't know, it was maybe a week or 2 after that, he was still hot about it. And I think he said in that episode at least 3 times, "We're going to be ready for when they come to our place." So I think they have had this game circled, on their calendar, for a while, and a little personal, a little, maybe pettiness come in, and maybe that's what these guys need. Is they need a villain, to kind of circle around, and if these guys from retirement community side of Florida can be the villain that to help propel this team forward, play the role.
All right. It will be a fun matchup to see. Because on one hand, like, here we go with me being optimistic. Like, maybe this is the game where the Kickers get that get right game. Like, this is the game where things, quote unquote, go right for the Kickers.
Could be. I mean,
Yeah. It'll be interesting.
Maybe the antidote you need is another team down on their luck. Saw that with Omaha a few weeks ago. They were in a mess at that time, and Kickers were able to take advantage, of them. At the end of the year, nobody's going to look at how the points accumulated. They're just going to look at, did the points accumulate, and were you one of the top 8 teams in accumulating points? So do what it takes.
Yeah, I mean, let me ask you this, Matt. Like, what is the number one, I guess, what are the top 3 things Darren has to do to make sure that Richmond is not only prepared for FC Naples, but if they won't, let me ask you that. Yeah, what are the top 3 things I'm going to say that question for later. Well, no, I mean, for fault. I know I just confused you. I'm going to ask you that question now.
Wait, what?
I was going to ask you. Oh my God. Now I'm confusing myself.
Start fresh.
What are the top 3 things that Richmond has to do to make sure that they beat FC Naples?
So I think first things first, got to be able to keep an eye on Carson Henderlong.
Yeah.
He's their center forward. He has 7 goals on the season. He's another guy. Started off super hot.
Mhm.
It's kind of faded a little bit recently, but he's your kind of center forward. He's going to get in. If he's scoring, it's probably on his first touch. He's not a dribbly kind of guy. So assuming it's you know Lodge and whichever center back, Griffin, and Gee seem to be preferred a little bit more for playing the center back 2 spot right now. Uh, they got to be able to track him and track his runs.
Yeah.
So I think that's number one. I think beyond that, I mean it sounds dumb and basic, but don't make the silly mistakes. Don't give them the opportunity to be able to create chances on their own. Uh, they got what's his name? The guy that everybody thought was going to be great for Madison last year, and he did nothing for them.
Oh,
English
oh,
dude.
oh. Was it Owen?
Yeah, him. He's down there,
Yeah.
now, and he's starting to actually produce in the midfield.
Actually, he won't be playing. He is hurt. I think he's out for the season.
Awesome. So
Yeah.
problem solved.
There you go. Yeah, I
And
think
then
I saw
uh,
on Forza Naples he got hurt.
okay, and then I think the other thing is got to find a way to create chances, take the half chances. See if you can be able to get
Mhm.
deflection somewhere. See if you can be able to press somebody into a mistake. Uh, they've got some decent center backs, like we know Jake Dangler, from his Tormenta days. He's down there, but you know, I think there's a few things that you know they can be able to do that aren't you know they're like big brain busting sort of concepts, but I think there are
Yeah.
the things that can simplify the game down, and sometimes simple can be good.
Simple is not bad. Like simple can make you I'll be some of the best teams in the world. Like you don't always have to be perfect. You just have to be better at certain moments. And honestly, that's probably what the team needs. Yeah. Now, this is the question I was gonna say for everybody I'm asking now. Is this currently right now? I know we made Chattanooga agree with the pivot points, but is this the most important game of the season that has probably the biggest implications? Because if the Kickers win this game, then they have a few results coming up that more or less could go in their favor, right? Like if you beat Naples here, you beat Portland Hearts upon next weekend, then you look at that one Knox game in midweek, and then Tormento on the Saturday, and then one Knox again, and then a Westchester, and then a Henry Derby. Whereas like you can build some momentum and like we said in this league, like you can easily win 2 games to get yourself back into the playoff line. But if they were to lose this game, does it become a real quick slippery slope where it, you look at the schedule, you're like, I don't know where we pick up 3 points again?
I don't know if I go that far, but yeah, I mean, I haven't looked to see who's playing each other this upcoming week, but theoretically, there's a world where come next Sunday, this
Mm-hmm.
team's in last place,
Yeah.
right?
Let me see.
Uh, so I don't know if matchups allow that to actually happen or not, but uh, the fact that it's even a possibility that's in the conversation is problematic enough. Uh,
Yeah.
I think the Portland game the following week is probably the bigger game of the two, just because Portland's closer to us in the standings than Naples is right now.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but I think it's something I would certainly listen, especially because this is a home game. You've got to start building up points from your home games, and also I think for team morale, for fan morale, a result at home would go a long way right now.
Yeah.
So Yeah, you're kind of talking me into your side of things. I think I still lean a little bit more towards in Portland the following week, but it's probably like
Yeah, it's definitely a weird period. Like it's a stretch that you can come out on one side or on the other side, and it's the fork in the road. But you these are the games that can impact us. Like you said, like by the time we play next weekend, we can be at the bottom of the table. Uh, on Friday, Westchester plays Chattanooga. If Westchester wins, they'll go on 17 points. Madison plays AV Alta. If they win, they will go on 19, or a draw, they'll be on 17. And then Tormenta plays Greenville. Win or draw, they'll be ahead of the Kickers. And then Union Omaha plays Spokane. And if they win, they're ahead of the Kickers. So the Kickers lose, Madison, Tormenta, Westchester, and Union Omaha win their games. Kickers will play Portland, and it will be bottom of the table. So, yeah,
I think you get very good odds on that scenario coming true if you're betting on it, but it's not impossible.
Yeah, and I know that would greatly change the tone of a lot of stuff. So yeah, which by the way, if I know talk about the Portland game, I forgot our game in what is it? I think September against Portland. I know it's on a Wednesday. Is national televised. I thought the August 9th game was the national televised game, but it's not. So found that out today. I mean yesterday. But yeah, there is. If you aren't part of the Discord, make sure you join because there's a bunch of road trips going on. Like me and Matt are going to Madison for September 13th, and then there are a bunch of people. I think it's like 25 or 30 people going up to Portland, and they're not all Josh Kirkland's family. These are actual real Kickers fans.
They're real fans.
I know. Okay, I realized that saying that came across the way. I did not mean it that way. I'm saying like Red Army fanatical fans.
I mean, they've gone down to Charlotte twice this year. That's a little bit fanatical, if you ask me.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Well, I go to Charlotte twice, but yeah, that is true.
Yeah, but that's because Charlotte's really your favorite team.
It's not my favorite team, even though my wife was at the watch party with a Charlotte jersey, and Richard was like, she was like, "I'm here to support this team, not that team. Y'all have fun." And meanwhile, while Richmond is getting scored on, she's over there cheering with an AirPod in, giving Cam high fives. And Charlotte scores twice against Toronto. And I'm just sitting there like, this is what my life has become. So yeah. But Charlotte's my second favorite city. Richmond's still my first favorite.
Sure. Okay.
Hey, look, if I did love this team, I would not be doing this podcast. So I'd let you know that I have deep admiration for the show. Well, for this team, not the show.
All right. Maybe this is time to wrap it up.
Yeah, probably so. All right, y'all. Well, look, as always, we just want to say thank you for taking the time of your day for listening to our show. Because without you, we couldn't do this. We wouldn't want to do this. And even though things aren't the best, we love doing it with y'all. So if you like to support, donate to the podcast, or buy us a coffee, you can do so at rivercity93.com/support. Go check out our work over there as well. Stay up to date on all things Richmond Kickers. But for Matt and myself and the rest of the crew, we will holler at you guys next week where hopefully we are talking about a Roy King type performance from a midfielder and
Darren revenge game. Darren revenge game against
Darren revenge game.
Whatever the their coach's name is.
Get him doing a big booyah.
Yeah.
He wins. Be great. So yeah, we'll holler at you guys next week. Be easy and be safe.